Alright, I hope you didn't have any problems with the installation, and probably you have already looked through the different options of the tool. So very basically, let's see what we can do. We may create our own database. We may open a database. We may browse the data of a database. We may edit it, and we may execute SQL. Let's try something. We want to create a new database, and we want to call it our test, for example. It doesn't matter. We are saving it, and yeah, we have our tables. Okay, I told you that a database consists of tables. So let's say that we have table 1, and after that, after we have entered the name, you see here the syntax, you may see, we go to add field, because the table needs to consist of different fields. We may enter the name, for example, name 1, doesn't matter, and we enter the type. The type shows us what type of data is going to be stored in our database. Basically, in the app we are going to build, we will use integers and texts. That's it. We will not need either blobs or real or numeric. Actually, real, numeric, and integer are different types of numeric data that needs to be stored, whereas blob is something a little bit more specific. It's a combination of different types of the other different types that may be used. For example, if you want to store information for an image, it will be a blob type. But these are really a little bit more advanced structures. So if you go a little bit, you may advance in SQLight, because you know that Android uses actually SQLight. What we need, in fact, and what I wanted to show you, is a database just to look through it and to see how our application is going to look like. Okay, so we are going to the database that I have already created, because in fact the application we are building at the moment is my first application that I uploaded in the Google Store, and it's one of the most trending at the moment in the history area. For example, if you go here and you just write down history quiz, yeah, so here it is. It's second at the moment, and we will not add these pictures, for example. It's up to you. I mean, I will show you the basics. From there on, you may do whatever else you want. Here you are. These are the different categories. Enter it, and we have our data. So we have data for the categories. We have data for the questions. This is the question, the 3 answers, and the information that is showed after that, the description we are giving to the user. Okay, so I want just to see how this data actually looks like as I advise you on working with the SQLight browser. It's really very easy to be used. It's very intuitive, and you may have a look at what you created. During the course, in different moments, we are going to check how one thing or another looks in the database, and we are going to check it just to be sure that we are on the correct way and that we are recording the data on the way we need it to be. So we are going to browse data. We are choosing, for example, the answers table, and you see we have our unique identifiers. Here they are. We have the question ID. So for example, this is the first question. And again, we have correct, wrong, wrong. Okay? And on this way, you may have a look at the different questions that are entered. All right. After that, if we want, for example, to examine the questions data, there is a different option for difficulty. We are not going to use it for now because it is added in the database with the idea that once I may decide to make it on levels. So if I decide, it's already in the database and I may just upgrade it. Okay, we have the questions. We have again the ID, the category ID. These here, the first, how many are they? The first 40 are for the first category. After that starts the second category up to here, again 40 questions. After that comes the third category and the fourth category. It's on this way. After that is the text. You may have a look at it here. Who did Julius Caesar announce as his heir? And we have the description. Blah blah. You may just download the app if you want and play it. Okay, so it's database that I created. The information is checked because I searched for it from different sources, and I really advise you on this. When creating a trivia game, just make it unique. Make it unique based on the information you are inserting inside, because what people want is something new and something different, not something that they may just read everywhere or see in every single app which is in the store. Alright, so this was the important part. If you want to edit something, you're given the chance to do it here. To execute SQL, you may play with it a little bit later, and we'll see how it works when we reach the part of writing the SQLite queries. Wonderful. So having this larger, a little bit introductory part, we are ready to start with our Android Studio project. See you.